welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan. Welcome to week update number 18. We've been doing pretty good and moving along with all of our weekly updates, and you guys seem to enjoy my weekly show. I don't get them up every week, but when I've got enough content, I toss one together. Now, this week we've got a few things to talk about. First of all is going to be something for all the woodchucks out there in the Southern California area. Tom calls them woodchucks. I think that's funny. I picked up this dust collector at a job site where they were actually running paint through it. And I'm going to cut to a couple pictures of it. And it barely ran. And when I got it here and took it apart, it vibrated badly and it kept blowing the overload, and it was just badly clogged with paint. So I've got, I've got some time into it, and I took it all apart, and it's fine for wood usage, and it runs really smooth now. It doesn't blow the overload anymore. But here, let's cut to a couple pictures of that. And back, and this is going to be like a local pickup kind of thing. So any of you woodchucks out there that are in the Southern California area, throw me an email, and believe me, the price is right on that thing. If you go look at those things are like $600 or $700. So I'll make you a good deal on it, and it's just a little bit of time I had. The customer just said, get it out of here. It was of no use to him, and it doesn't even work in his sanding area. So, yeah, if you're interested in that jet dust collector, shoot me an email. Next up, a lot of the guys have been doing tool mysteries. I did a die setter's bar, I don't know, some weekly updates ago, but now I have another one, and this is an interesting one, and it took me some time on the internet to find out what it was. But here, I got a little vid of some close-ups of that tool. So let's take a look at that.
Okay, so here's a mystery tool, and I think I'm zoomed in good enough. And what it is, it's got a square drive at one end. Let's take a good look at that end. So the end's domed. I'll let you look at all four sides. There's no detent ball on it. It is a plumb. And a key to the dating of the thing is that the plumb has got the O and not the little V-shaped plumb bob on it. But it does have the plumb bobs before and after the name. It says 5/8/18. And it is in Los Angeles. Some of them just said USA, some of them said Los Angeles. And the date code is a 5D. And if we go up here on top, it's got a 5/8 18 thread. That's what the 5/8/18 down here is designating. It's got a 5/8/18 thread. It's a blind hole, and there's one small hole that comes inside to the relief inside there. So that's a key to some of it. But, I'll let you take a good look at that part number again. Or I'm not going to show you the part number. I've got tape across the part number. I did. It took me quite a bit of time to even search this with the part number and figure out what it was. And now I leave it to you. You guys have been doing mystery tools, so I thought this might be kind of fun. But the O and plumb is a big giveaway to the era of this tool. And another thing is, I will say that this has never been used, and you can tell it's never been used by looking at this surface right here. So those are the only two clues I'm going to give you. Okay, but that's the mystery tool.
And we're back, and that's quite the odd tool, and I kept the part number concealed because I had to Google it, and then I eventually found it, on the second page of Google. You're really desperate when you hit that page 2 button, So yeah, I did eventually find it. Next up, I did a product review a few videos ago about Anchor Lube. One of my viewers sent me a link to order some a sample of Anchor Lube for me to try it out. I did a product demo. I guess the guys over at Anchor Lube actually saw my video and sent me an email. We've had a pretty nice email exchange over the internet, and you know, it's pretty amazing to me that these people are back east and I'm here on the West Coast, and this kind of exchange wouldn't have even happened 10 years ago. There's no way that we would even be having that conversation. So the internet certainly has made the world a lot smaller. But in the email, the people over at Anchor Lube said they wanted me to put it to the test with stainless steel. And so they're sending over a little more of the material. I've actually gone through all of my sample. That little bottle is pretty handy. Out in the field, we do a lot of hole saw work on different types of enclosures, and it's kind of nice not to have a big oily mess when you're done with your hole sawing. And some of my hole saws get pretty big. You know, they're in the 2.5 and 3 inch range. So it's pretty nice to keep in your toolbox or in your work bag for drilling and coring large holes in steel. And I actually had some stainless enclosures, and all I had was carbon steel hole saws, and it kept me from burning up the tool. I had about 8 holes to drill in an electrical cabinet. So anyways, Anchor Lube has thrown down the gauntlet on a stainless steel challenge, and they want to pit it up against our old friend Relton Rapid Tap. So we're going to do a head-to-head on that, on lathe turning, milling, drilling, and tapping. It's all going to be stainless steel. It'll all be the same material. The only thing that's going to change is the cutting fluid. And they gave me some tips too on the use of it. I don't know that you remember how viscous it was, but they said, well, I could cut it with water and kind of flood it on there a little bit. So we're going to try mixing it with water. It is a water-based product, and so we're going to try that and do one video just on Anchor Lube, and that's coming up soon. Speaking of product reviews, you guys seem to like the product reviews, and I got a lot of emails saying, you know, thanks for trying this out or trying that out. I know whether to buy it, not to buy it, whatever. This week we're going to do, I'm trying a new tool black on my little squares. I've tried it on one piece already, and here's the second review on it. This is by Precision Brand. They make shims and copper shims and all kinds of things. They can be found at precisionbrand.com. And I'm not affiliated with them in any way. But here, let's take a look at the performance of that.
Hey guys, this is the very first thing I did with this new product. This is the tool that Randy Richards sent to me, and I believe this to be chromoly, at least in the 4100 family of the steels. And it blued really nicely. It really sucked up that gun blue, and that's what this Precision Brand product, the 3-step. So I'm actually going to do my first set of squares with it, and that is a Salinas acid is what they're calling it. And this first set of squares here is just fresh off the surface grinder. And we're going to go over it with 600 grit paper and the cleaning solution, which is in the pink bottle, and it's just a water-based cleaning solution, and you mix it 50-50 with water, and but we're going to give that a good cleaning now. Okay, and I got a little cup here, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of this stuff in. And I'm sure this is a proprietary blend, but I'm assuming it's a pretty high pH. When you get it on your hands, it feels really soapy. As soon as it hits oil, it gets real soapy. So I'm thinking this is just a high pH cleaner. But the instructions say mix it 50-50 with water, and I'm just going to mix it with a little bit of warm water and see if it foams up and how it does. And I'm going to wet sand the squares with that material. And it says health reactivity 000, so it's all pretty inert. The nasty stuff is in bottle number 2, so I think bottle number 1 is just a glorified simple green. Okay, I'm back, and we mix it 50-50 with a little bit of warm water and stir it around a little bit here with my finger. And it's still got a real soapy feel to it. We're just going to take the squares and just kind of douse it with the stuff and wet sand with it. They've already been cleaned once, but this stuff's supposed to take off every last little bit of it. And I've pre-rinsed my sandpaper. I actually use the same material, that's why it's kind of wet looking here. But we're just going to wet sand with this solvent. And we're going to follow it up with a little bit of gray Scotch-Brite too. But yeah, I'll power through this. You guys don't need to sit here and watch me sand squares with 600 grit paper. Okay, that's the fastest I've ever sanded a pair of squares. So we've got them still sitting there with the solvent on them. We're just going to take them over and give them a rinse. We're going to clean everything up. We'll give our hands a wash, clean out our cup, get all the dirty solvent. The solvent really gets polluted, and that's why I bring it out into a cup. I don't want to contaminate my main bottle. So we'll give us a clean spot to work on here, and go get cleaned up and bring it back when we're ready to blue. Let me get these things washed off. Okay, and we're back from our rinse, and I just rinsed them in pretty warm water with gray Scotch-Brite, and now we're gonna and they got blown dry with compressed air, and now we're gonna break into the actual tool black, and this is a jelly type material. It's about the same viscosity as navel jelly, so it's pretty thick. And these little daubers you can get down at Home Depot. All that is a dauber for plastic pipe glue. So I thought those would be good because the dauber part is chemical resistant, I would think, or gosh, I hope. And that's not going to fit down in my bottle. So I'm going to get a cup and take a little bit out. And I'm actually not going to put it back in the bottle. If anything that comes out of the bottle is just going to go to waste, what doesn't get used, because I don't want to contaminate my main supply. So I'm just going to use an old piece of Tupperware. Got eye protection on, and this stuff, if you get it in your eyes, this is not going to be any fun. On your skin, not terrible. It just burns slightly, and you rinse it off with water and you're okay. But get in your eyes and it's all over. So wear some eye protection for this stuff. And there you can kind of see the viscosity of this material. And I'm just going to rub it on one and let you see the reaction between the first one and the second one, and see how fast it works on the clean metal. So there's your chemical reaction right there between the two. And according to the instructions, you lay this on 1/8 of an inch thick. So we're going to see how that is going to go. But you're going to get an instant reaction when your metal's clean enough and you've etched into it enough and sanded it enough and your metal's clean enough. you're going to get an instant reaction. If your metal's dirty, got the slightest amount of oxidation on it, you're not going to get an even reaction. But pretty happy for the first coat there. Okay, now we're going to slather some of this goo on the second side and just kind of set them off to the side here vertically. I don't want to set them down on the towel and have the towel absorb the material away from the square. I just want to keep them pickled for the full 10 minutes. Instructions say it's a 10-minute sit, 6 to 10 minutes for a full effect. So we're going to see how one coating does them. And just pick up any dry spots I find. And these squares are actually a gift from a son to his father. The build to address and the shipping address was different, and I'm not going to name any names just in case Dad is one of my subs. I'm not sure, but these are a gift from a son to his father, which I thought was very nice. So we're getting these fixed up for him and get him out the door here come Monday. And we're just going to set them there and wait 10 minutes and see how they do. There's the reaction. It's looking pretty good. This is our first pickle in them. So let's let them sit and see how we do. Okay, and it's been 10 minutes. They've been sitting. I had enough time to heave a couple of avocados and 2 lemons and a lime at my next door neighbor. And this is our first 10-minute soak. So that's kind of how they look. So I'm gonna go give these a rinse and see if we think we need a second coat on them. Yeah, and we're a little blotchy, so I think a second coat's going to be in order. Let me get these rinsed, and I'll bring you back here in a couple minutes. And here I'm back, and I've taken them in the sink under warm water, and I got all the old acid off, and I went through with some gray Scotch-Brite and just lightly touched. Just knock the bumps off and re-expose a small amount of metal. They kept a lot of their gray tone, but they kind of lost that deep black look that they had with the Scotch-Brite. But I'm hoping this second application is going to kind of even out and get them looking the way I'm shooting for here. So that's the first one. We're just going to give it a second daubing and set it here to the side. And this one here, I'll show you what it kind of looks like after it comes out of the sink. That's a nice blue, but here I'm getting a second reaction, and it's not as big of a reaction as you get the first time, but it is a reaction nonetheless. I'll just leave one little spot undone so you can see what it looks like right there under my thumb. You can see the difference where I have and haven't done. So you are getting a small reaction on the second go round, but like I say, not near as much as the first time. So we're just going to give these a little coat, set them aside for another 10, and bring it back here in a couple minutes. And coming up on the rest of this video, we're back to me in the shop. You don't have to listen to me do a voiceover on the rest of this stuff. For some reason I lost my audio throughout the whole beginning process, and the last clip was the only thing that took. So we're going to get back to my my regular banter here in the shop. Stand by for that. Okay, I'm back from my second dip and done my cleaning. I've rinsed. Get this junk off the table here. And this is what they look like. They've been rinsed in water, and they just got air blown or force dried with compressed air.
So a little blotchy. I don't know, I'll try to turn those around so you can kind of see them in the light. But this is the Prevent, and then you just spray it on. And they say this is the final step, and just let it pickle in this overnight, and this will create a thin candy coating by the next day. Okay, and here we are the next day, and I went ahead and I pickled them in this material. It's called Prevent. Let me get it down on screen there. Now it's this is a little waxy. After it's dried up overnight, it feels kind of waxy. So I just sprayed them down, and with a water-based, my regular SAX water-based solvent, and got the Prevent off of there. And these are just completely bare right now, and I'm actually getting my fingerprints all over them. But I wanted to show you what they look like. Excuse me. Degreased, and the coloring I got out of them, and I'm hoping the coloring comes through on the camera. I got some blues out of it, and my fingerprints are getting all over it now. I might as well put my oily fingerprints over the whole thing, just kind of smear it around to give it an even coloring. There it is. Yeah, they were dry as a bone when I blew them dry and got all the oil off of them. But there's your coloring there. So as a reminder of how these started, I'm going to hold this up right here, and then I'm going to hold another square up right next to it, and the one on the right is fresh off the grinder. So that's kind of a before and after. But I'm going to go ahead and stand by my my rating system. It as far as cost and effectiveness, and I was really fighting the blotches, but it seemed to even out overnight. I don't have any real blotches in there. It kind of blended in, and I just gave it a light cleaning with solvent, water-based solvent, and rinsed it, and then I'm going to use that Prevent one last time and package them up and get them out the door. But that's how they look when they're finished. Here, I haven't really got any fingerprints on that one yet, so I'm hoping you can see the coloring there. All right, and again, that's before and after. And this stuff just kind of floods on there. This is the Prevent. And this actually has to dry. It's really runny right now, but it actually dries almost like a wax. So, and this will keep it from developing further corrosion. Especially in transit, I've had trouble with them. The bluing still etching the squares with them in transit. I pack them real heavy with this Prevent, and then wrap them in paper, and I actually spray the paper to let it just kind of stay on there. So, yep. And here I'm going to show you the other two products. I've already showed you the Prevent. Here's the Tool Black Gel. And here is the Metal Polish and Cleaner. All right, so hope you enjoyed the product review. I don't get a chance to do them very often, but yeah, here, now back to me. Oh, back. God, I think I'm still in kindergarten. I still love the smell of felt pens. So there's the Precision brand. and the performance of it. And like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I'm going to rate it, let's say I wrote it down here. As far as cost, I'm going to give it a 4. It's pretty expensive. Ease of use, I gave it an 8 because of the gel, and it's a lot easier to use than the liquid that I used to use. The effectiveness, I gave it a 6 because I had to recoat it twice. And you know, in the little second segment you saw there, I did show it to you the next day, and it kind of evened out. And I gave it a real light polishing with some really fine Scotch-Brite just to kind of even it out and re-oil it. And it brought out the blues. It didn't really get as black as I wanted it to get, but it brought out the blues and some of the coloring in the metal, which I thought was nice. And so for effectiveness, I gave it a 6. And as far as availability, you know, getting your hands on this stuff, I also gave it a 6 because it's not terribly easy to find. You're not going to find it at a hardware store or anything like that. You're either going to have to mail order it, internet it, or if you're lucky enough, you've got an industrial supply that carries it. I do have an industrial supply locally that I can buy this stuff, but like I said, they don't give it away. Okay, so that's the product review of the Precision brand Tool Black. Next up is I've been messing around with the GoPro and some time lapse. We had a spray booth to put in up against a non-fire rated wall, and we had to make it a fire rated wall. So we ripped out the 1/2-inch drywall and we had to use 5/8 rock, and this is just a time lapse of us hanging the rock. So let's look at that. And that was dumb, but still, you know, I kind of enjoy playing with my camera. That's probably more for my benefit than yours. But the time lapse turned out kind of cool, and I wanted to play with that. Next up is we did a roof opening on the same project. We got the booth in there, and we had to do a roof opening. And this is going to be a time lapse of the framing and putting the duct through with a fiberglass wrapper to give you the burn time at the roof. But you can get an idea how to properly frame a roof and reinforce a roof when you're going to cut a large opening in it. So let's look at that time lapse real quick. So now you know how to cut a hole in a roof. Wow. All right. Last up is the GoPro attached to your vehicle and driving down the road. And I tried a couple different camera angles, and I'm just going to power through those really quick and speed them up. But it's got a, you know, you can get some cool camera angles with the GoPro, and the mounts that they make for those things are just almost endless. So this is on a sticky suction cup octopus base thing. So let's look at that. And we're back. So that's all the stuff for this week. And so look for those upcoming videos for Anchor Lube, and any other products that you think I might use around here, or you want to see a test on it to see how they work or how I would pit them up against something else. Shoot me an email. You know, if it's a product that I use or been wanting to get around here anyways. I'll get a hold of some, or if I have some, I'll use it and show you how it works compared to something else. If you know, if it's something that's kind of shop related, whether it be cutting oils or cleaning products or any kind of lubrication or whatever, just shoot me an email, and maybe we'll do a little product demo for you if we think it's popular. All right, guys, I want you to enjoy the rest of your weekend. What's left of it. This is going to post late Saturday, so you got a half your weekend left, and have a good week ahead of you. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.